So there's a Waylon Jennings tribute album coming out, and you do Rainy Day Woman?
Yeah, it's really, what an amazing honor for Jesse to call and ask us to be a part of a tribute to the guy. Honestly, when I was in finishing up college up at Tech, and we were driving back and forth, to our gigs down, we'd drive 7-8 hours to go do a gig in Austin or do a gig in Dallas, and we listened to the Waylon Jennings autobiography on tape. I mean, I can't remember how many times I've listened to that thing. I mean, 20, 30 times, and just listening to Waylon, his voice telling his story. So he was a big part of my, I guess, just desire to do this for a living. And then I got to meet him a few times, and he asked me to come out to the house and record and write with him in Phoenix. And I mean, it was.
I never knew that. So you actually got to write with Waylon?
Well, no, that's the other side of the story. Is that the last time I saw him was down in Austin at a show in Waterloo Park, and he was looking pretty tough, and he was getting around mostly by golf cart, not really walking anywhere. And so I said, hey, well, let's get together. And he goes, okay, great. And so I was supposed to go down 2 weeks later to Phoenix to write with him, and it just he got sicker and it fell apart. And I never got to take that opportunity. So to have the chance to honor him and to, I don't know, especially with a song like Rainy Day Woman, what a fantastic song.
What is it about Lubbock, about the musical heritage of Lubbock?
There's nothing else to do there.
That's
make it up in
approach.
your brain. That's the truth, man. Buddy Holly and John Denver and Waylon Jennings and Bob Wills, and I mean, I think it really is. There's something about that desolation, and I think that the writer's soul is fed by pain and desperation, by absolute, by the lack of any happiness, or an overabundance of that. And I think that's what you see in the like you can look at Austin and say, my God, it is the coolest town with the funkiest, greatest people, and it makes it's easy to ride up there because, man, it's rich, And same thing with Lubbock. There's just nothing. You have to make it up completely from within you,
right.
And it makes it easier, I think, to write. And there's nothing to look at.
A couple of years ago, he got to give the commencement address for the graduating class at Tech. And I'm just going to ask you, what advice did you give the graduates?
Always room for a couple of beers. Actually, Walt Wilkins told me this story when we were working together. He was in my band for a year back in the early 2000s. And he told a story about how one of his teachers had come into the room with a large jar and put it on the table, and he took from underneath the counter, he took like 6 really big rocks and filled the jar with these big rocks. And he looked at the class and said, class, is the jar full? Now nod their head yes. And then he pulls out a bag of pebbles from underneath the desk, and he pours the pebbles, and the pebbles fill in the space around the big rocks. And he goes, all right, class, now is the jar full? And they're like, oh, now it's full. So then he reaches beneath the desk again and gets a bag of sand, and pours the bag of sand into the jar with the pebbles and the big rocks, and says, all right, class, is the jar full now? And they're like, can't put anything smaller than sand in there. So yes, okay, the jar is full. And he reaches underneath the class, and they're all about to, it's the end of the year, so they're all about to graduate. And reaches down and pulls out 2 beers, pops them open, and pours them in there slowly. And he goes, see, just remember, when you're out there in the real world, there's always room for a couple of beers. So that was my ending anecdote. Yeah, it told me that they gave me like 45 minutes. They said you can. This speech is usually 30 to 45 minutes long, and I was like, I'll give you a solid 10 to 15 minutes. That's all you get. I'm gonna make it quick and easy.
Well, we look forward to visiting more with you soon, and looking forward to hearing the live album too.
Right on. I'm happy to do it.
Pat Green.
See you, Bob.